Hey, how's it going YouTube? Today I'm here to bring you my Bobo build for the Stamsorc for the Deadlands patch. This build is capable of pulling over 100k on the parse dummy and is viable for most endgame content. The build specializes in pulling as much damage as possible for group content such as trials, ved dungeons, and group arenas. This build is not meant for solo play, including solo arenas, solo overland, etc. Starting off with the character sheet, I have 64 points in the stamina. I'm running the Thief Mundus. For race, I am a Dark Elf. Some possible alternatives include Orc, Khajiit, High Elf. Honorable mention goes towards any other class that can utilize stamina abilities such as Redguard and Wood Elf. For consumables, you want to be running the Artaeum Takeaway Broth for any content. A cheaper alternative is going to be the Dubious Cameron Throne. And if you feel like you need the extra sustain, Lava Foot Soup and Salt Rice is always the go-to. So for potions, we're going to be running the Essence of Weapon Power. This gives us access to some of the most important buffs for stamina DPS, including Major Brutality, Major Savagery, and Major Endurance. Moving on to CP. So for the blue tree, we're going to be running Master at Arms, Backstabber, Deadly Aim, and Wrathful Strikes. For the red CP, we're going to be running Rejuvenation, Fortified, Boundless Vitality, and Bloody Renewal. So for the front bar, we're going to be running Bound Ornaments, Lethal Arrow, Camouflage Hunter, Clan Fear, Twilight Tormentor, and Flawless Dawnbreaker. So just a quick explanation on the skills. Bound Ornaments is going to be cast every 4 light attacks. It's going to be a good single target damage ability. Lethal Arrow is going to be your main spammable. Camouflage Hunter is there for the Fighters Guild passive. And your 2 pets are just a passive DPS boost. And Flawless Dawnbreaker is there also for the passive weapon and spell damage benefits you get. And for the back bar, we're going to be running Endless Hail, Magnum Shot, Poison Injection, Clan Fear, and Twilight Tormentor. And our ultimate is going to be Greater Storm Atronach. So we're running these skills on the back bar, starting with Endless Hail because it is one of the strongest dots that Bow has access to. Magnum Shot is there for the Black Rose Prison Bow that I'll go over in a second. Poison Injection is going to be our finisher / strong dot. The 2 pets so they don't disappear when you only have them on 1 bar. And Greater Storm Atronach is going to be our go-to ultimate. So for the rotation that I used, I always used Bound Ornaments cast at 4 stacks. Back bar was always the same, starting with Endless Hail, Magnum Shot, Poison Injection, and Lethal Arrow when nothing else to use, so it was my spammable. And then I would just drop a Greater Storm Atronach whenever it was up in place of a Lethal Arrow. I'm just going to throw in the pre-buff here. I started off with the Bound Ornaments, and then I casted Twilight Tormentor, Greater Storm Atronach, and then just started the whole rotation with Hail. So for the gear, we're going to be running a Zogvin Precise with the Flame Damage enchant on the front bar. On the back bar, we're going to be running a Black Rose Prison Bow infused with a weapon and spell damage glyph. We're going to be running 5-piece Reliquant on the body, paired with 2 pieces of the monster set Kajarnar's Nightmare. And all 3 pieces of the jewelry are going to be Zogvin, traded in Bloodthirsty with all weapon damage enchants. So for closing thoughts, I initially did run Double Dot Poison, but I took it off and I reached the same numbers, so I didn't think it was necessary. You could run Double Dot. Sometimes I feel like it does better, but I couldn't find a definitive answer. Also, if you're going to be taking this build into content, you can always replace Camo Hunter with Arrow Spray, which is needed because this build does lack a lot of AoE, and Arrow Spray isn't a terrible AoE. If you need more bar spaces, you can always drop your Twilight Tormentor and use skills such as Caltrops, Crit Surge, Vigor, whatever you need for the situation basically. I personally didn't have too much success with Kinra's, but I feel like I could make it work using Kinra's and Barb Trap, dropping Zogvin, and I think it might have a better potential. That wraps up the build explanation of this portion. Thank you for watching my video, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability in a timely fashion. As a reminder, if this build helped you in any way, please help the channel grow by subscribing and liking the video. Feel free to stick around for the attached parts at the end. If not, have a great day and thank you again.